This is CITC 2337 Lab 1.1 Deploy Managing Server Images. Inside of this video we're going to have three objectives. We're going to create two answer files, associate the answer files with the WDS server and images, and then we're going to do a unintended install with proof that it worked. Alright, so let's start this lab. The first thing we're going to be doing is creating a new answer file. Okay. Then over in the Windows images, we're going to be looking for International Core PE right here. Alright. Add setting to pass 1. Okay. Then over here on the right, we're going to be customizing these settings. And for everything except for layer driver, we're going to set it to ENUS. Okay, now that we have that done, we're gonna go inside of this, set up UI language, and assign it ENUS. Okay, so on the bottom left again on the Windows images, we're going to be going inside of it and finding AMD 64 Windows setup. There it is. Add setting to pass 1. We're going to right click this, or expand it, I guess. We're going to be deleting everything except for disk configuration and Windows deployment services. So let's just delete. Alright, so we just need these two left. Okay, so inside of disk configuration, we're going to have two, will show UI and disk, disable. So for the will show ID, we have these two left blank. So let's go over here to disk, insert new disk. And for the disk ID, we're going to set it to 0, and the will wipe disk, we're going to set it to true. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go over to Windows Deployment Services and select disk, expand it. If we want to have create and modify partitions, we're going to right click on the create one and insert new create partition. Alright, within this we're going to be setting the extend option to true, the order to 1, the type to primary, and the size we're just going to leave that alone. Alright, for modify partition we're going to be doing something similar. Insert new modify partition, and we're going to customize these settings. So the first setting we want to customize is the active, and we're going to set it to true. The extend, we're going to want this to be false. Format in TFS. The label, let's do system. The letter, set it to C drive. The order, let's set it 1, partition ID 1, and type ID, and we're going to leave this blank right here. Okay, so after customizing all these, this will set the path for enabling us to install Windows through WDS, and then we erase the previous hard drive and configure it with the settings we just made. So the next thing we're going to do is open up image install, and we're going to leave that alone. We're going to open up our Windows Deployment Service console. I'm going to go into our install images, install, and then right click the image that we have, go to properties, copy the file name, and then we're going to go back over to the sim window, and then we're going to paste it inside of the install image information. So just paste that right there. That image group. Just be right here. Just copy and paste this bad boy. It'll let us. Okay. Okay, and then the image name is the very top part. So this right here is the entire image. So we're just going to select all, copy, and we're going to paste it right. What am I doing? Right in here. Kadoosh. Okay, and now we have that all configured real quick. Next thing is selecting the install to, and for the disk ID we're going to be setting it to 0, and the partition ID setting it to 1. Alright, and this will point to the proper partition that we will install the Windows 2. Now let's go over to the login and credentials, and we'll type in the domain information, which for us is class 2050. The password I have set to is this. The username I'll be using is sysadmin. Afterwards, we're going to go to the top, tools, validate answer files, and it says no warning or errors. Then we're going to save the answer file to our remote install location, and we're going to save inside of this WDS client unattended, and we're going to name it WDS client unattended. Okay. Now let's minimize this, close that out, we don't need that, and then we're going to right click this. Actually, hold on a second. Actually, we're going to be going over to the server and right clicking that. We're going to properties, the client, enable unattended installation, and 64-bit installation, and then we're just going to be selecting the file that we just saved. So in this situation, we have to go find remote install. Bam. Bam. Hit apply. Okay. And then go back to the sim. Inside of the sim, create a new answer file. And then down here, we're going to find AMD 64 shell setup. Right click, and we're going to specialize this time. Expand, and we really don't need all these components, so we're just going to delete them. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is customize these settings and the server name, etc., etc. So let's just do that. So let's use server test as a computer name, and product key is the next thing we use, and I have one sitting on the side. Just gonna go ahead and type this in real quick. Then okay, so just did read that real quick. I guess I had a small typo on the end there. Next thing we're going to do is the time zone. I'm going to set it to Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Then we're going to go to the bottom left, Windows Images, and we're going to go find Unattended Join right here. Right click, pass to Force Specialize. And next thing we want to do is go into the settings, expand identification, and we're going to customize the join domain to class2050.com. Join work group, just leave that blank, and then actually leave all the rest blank. So next thing we're going to do is expand it, delete provisioning, and then we'll open up the credentials and assign it a username, password, domain. So let's just do that. Class 2050. The password I used. Password. Username is sysadmin. Alright. Now we're going to go down to the bottom left again. And we're going to find us International Core 6.3, not the Windows PE edition this time. Right click, pass to Ubi System. Alright, so the settings for this, we're just going to set it all to EN/US like we did the first time. Okay. Now on the bottom left again, we're going to be selecting the setup again. Actually, I can't see it. Yeah, it's this one right here. Shell setup. Then we're just going to expand it real quick, and we're going to select a few components to add to the answer file. So the first one we want to do is auto logon, the very first one. I'm going to do add to pass 7 this time, Ubi system. Then we're going to do the same thing to the Ubi one down here. And we're going to do one more, and that's user accounts. Alright, so we just want those 3. So the next thing we want to do is go to the settings of the shell setup. And the time zone, we're going to do the same thing, similar to what we did earlier. We're just going to do the set Eastern Standard Time within this box. So actually make sure that is lowercase. Doubt it'll have any conflict. I'm not sure if capitalization needs to be specific or not, so I'm just going to leave everything lowercase for right now. Okay, so we have the Eastern Standard Time configured, and same thing as earlier, leave everything else default. Then we're going to go to auto login, just going to expand it. And for all login, I'm going to customize the domain to class 2050. Enabled. That one true, I'm pretty sure. Login count, let's just do 5. Username, sysadmin. Actually, if this is a user, probably just do sysguess. Okay. And the password is just going to be password. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go over to the Ubi settings, and we're going to let's customize 1 and 2 of this. So let's do the first one instead of true. Set the network location to work. Set protect your PC to 1, and then the rest we're going to skip. So let's go over to user accounts, expand this bad boy real quick. And the first thing we want to do inside of user accounts is customize administrative password settings. So this password right here, we're just going to type in the administrative password. And then go to domain accounts. And we're going to insert new domain account. And then we'll customize a domain for this, class2050.com. And then inside of that one, we're going to create another one. We'll name the group sysguest. And the name is going to be, actually, and name that domain users, and that name sysguest. Okay, so now we have that clarified. Right click the local accounts, and we're going to do insert new local account. Then we're going to expand it, and inside of the settings for description, we're going to do local. Display name, we're going to do administrator. Actually, we're going to do just do I'm not sure about this one. Let's just do client 0. For the group, we're going to do administrator. The name, we're going to do client 0. So display and client. Yeah, both of these are going to be client 0. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is password, and of course setting that to password. I think everything configured to the specification is required. Yeah. Okay. Tools, validate answer file, not a thing. So things should be right. Save answer file, and we're just gonna name it Ubi Unattended lowercase. Okay. Now we're just gonna close this out, opening up the deployment service console, and I'm gonna click our install Vim. Just make sure. Yep. Okay. Do properties. Allow managers to install in unattended mode. Select image. And then we're just going to go to the file we just made. Ubi. Apply. Save. Okay. So after we have the answer file set up and linked to the Windows deployment service, we're going to go ahead and launch a virtual machine to deploy. Oh, we're going to set up a virtual machine. Alright, I just finished the unintended installation. Let's see. Server B 2015, looks like a DHCP signed 91. Standard. Okay. Looks like it's already in domain I assigned to. And I'm not logging to that just yet. Okay. Thing looks good. Alright, and that's it for lab 1.1. In conclusion, we went with 3 objectives. We created 2 answer files. We linked up those answer files with the window deployment server. And we did an unintended installation at the end, and we had proof that it worked.